and welcome. You're tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now and ET Now. I'm Shri Sharma and with me is Shri D'Souza. And viewers, this is the show where you get answers for all your stock-related queries. In a short while from now, we will connect with our experts. But before that, let's have a quick look what the markets are up to. So, Cheryl, do you believe now is the cheer back on the markets? No?
Very good morning to you, Shristi. I see that you are making sure that you cheer the markets doubly. You're wearing the shade of green. Yes. Markets are holding on to the shade of green. And key to note is the fact that after we actually saw a good start, we did dip marginally in the negative territory. But from there on, we've actually carved our way through, and now we are near the day's highest point, 0.5% uptick coming in for the Nifty. Nifty Bank once again outperforming the benchmark indices with gains of about 0.7%. Broader markets, let's take a look at what the broader markets are doing, because the moves over there were a bit divergent at one point in time, where you had the small cap index that actually slipped in the negative territory. That one also now has rebounded very sharply. It's trading higher by about 0.8%, both of them actually at the day's highest point. So yes, looks like hopefully today we can say the cheer is indeed back, and at least the markets are holding on to those levels or some sort of a rebound that it is actually right now undergoing. If you look at the advanced decline ratio, not that bad. It is very much tilted in the favor of gainers. Talking about gainers is Power Grid ruling the charts today. 4% uptick coming in for Power Grid. We have NTPC, Coal India, Kotak Mahindra Bank as well as Maruti Suzuki among the other set of gainers. While on the losing end of the market, you have Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv, Nestle, HDFC Life as well as Shri Ram Finance that are taking it a bit easy in trade today. And as for the sectoral print, it is the pharma index that's in the negative territory along with FMCG, while you have power, the PSU, energy, realty, all of them clocking in very strong gains. So that's the way how the markets are looking like. The defensives today are taking a bit easy in trade today, Shrishti.
All right, that's the construct of the market. But with this, viewers, let's move on and let's start taking all your stock-related queries onto the show. But before that, do note that you can connect live with us for the next 1 hour. We're going to be there with you, where you can write to us your stock-related queries. Tell us the name that you have invested in, or the stock rather you wish to go ahead and buy at this point, and also tell us the time frame, even the amount that you wish to stay invested in. We'll try to take as many queries as possible, and also don't forget to write your name as well apart from the stock name. But with this, let's move on and let's start taking your stock related queries. And for this, we are being joined by Lancelot Dcunha as well as we are being joined by Hemen Kapadia on the technical front to guide you better. A very good morning, gentlemen, and thank you so much for your time. The first query that I have is coming in on sale, and this query is from a viewer. Actually, two viewers have gone ahead and wrote their queries on sale. And Hemen, let me take it from you, because first query is from Mohan. He has got 500 shares of sale. Buy price is 104 rupees. His time horizon is for the next 3 years, Hemen. But the next query is coming in from Sudarshan. He has 30th January 110 call option of sale. He didn't mention the buy price here, but how do you see this call option moving ahead? Wants your advice, any targets and stop losses?
Very good morning to you,
Good
Shri.
morning.
Thank you for having me on the show. Always a pleasure. There is, I wouldn't say major, but a significant resistance level at 108 as far as sale is concerned, Shristi. So his 110 call, I think he can hold, but there will be time decay, obviously, because we are running out of time. But if it closes above 108, there is still some time left. I believe some more upside is possible. And if it gets to be in the money, I'm sure he'll make money. So as of now, hold, but expect some resistance at 108. And after that, expect a high of 115, 116. So the basic advice would be to hold on to sale call option. From a longer term point of view, Shristi, we've fallen off from around 175 to 100. The longer term charts are currently not very clear, but they don't look exactly bad, because whatever is technically negative is already in the price. And 100 is not only a psychological, very strong support level. So I would say from a longer term point of view also, it's a hold. Not very exciting, but yeah, it's a hold.
All right, this next query that I have is coming in from Jude. He's writing in from Mumbai, and he wants to know whether he can add BEL, Marksans Pharma, or for the matter of fact, Geo Financial at current levels. Very good morning, Hemen, as well as Lancelot. Lancelot, this query is for you. What's your take? Do you think that he should go ahead, Jude should go ahead and buy BEL or Marksans, or even Geo Financial at this price point?
When you look at all the three companies which are discussed, I think for the strongest or the company which is giving you the best risk reward ratio is Bharat Electronics. And while the stock has corrected from its highs, valuations have become reasonably attractive. And if you look at the growth path ahead, I think the next 3 to 5 years, there's going to be significant amount of orders coming in from the Indian Army as long as it keeps modernizing its entire equipment, and the entire electronic space is being handled by Bharat Electronics. Over and above that, they also are getting orders from overseas clients. So that should be an additional, additional potential gains or upside available to the company as it gains expertise in various missile, tracking systems, etc. So that should be also positive for the company. So given this, the advantages are there, and since valuations have also become reasonable, I think Bharat Electronics offers the best opportunity at this time as from a risk reward perspective.
Right. Let me take the next query to you, Hemen. This one is coming from Vignesh, who's writing to us from Bangalore on HCLTech. He's saying that what would be the right price point to enter this counter. We also have Neha also from Bangalore writing the similar view. She wants to know whether it makes sense to go ahead and buy HCLTech with a 6-month view right now.
Well, I would suggest hold on a bit, despite what I think were good numbers. Frankly speaking, we're on the verge of giving a downward bar reversal. The week is not yet over. Overbought negative divergence. Simply put, in layman's terms, the move from 1240 to 2015 seems to have exhausted itself. So if you take a very longer term point of view, yes, things are not looking bad. But currently, I think she'd get it at cheaper levels. So one, I don't think you should buy it at one go. Split it into pieces. 1800, 1740, and 1660. 3 levels where she can split and buy the stock, because I believe we're on the cusp. I would be more confident if this happened, if we were reviewing this on a Friday evening. What I mean to say, weekly charts would have been over. On the cusp of entering an intermediate correction, I think it's going to go nowhere for the next few months.
All right, that's the take coming in on HCLTech. We're moving on to the next query then. And Lancelot, this next query is on United Spirits, wherein Gautam from Mumbai wants a short as well as a long-term view for United Spirits. How do you see the prospects of the company? He wished to stay invested for the long term as well, but even in the short term, if you have any take there, how do you see the things moving up and playing for United Spirits?
I think, the fundamental business of the company has been growing significantly as more and more, people are taking into spirits, etc. And what we are seeing is that while growth potential is good, valuations have sort of run up ahead of its, on the back of huge expectations. And that has resulted in a very high, high earnings multiple, which makes the company a little bit risky, because anytime there is a impact on its sales, that the company could see some sharp derating. So it's avoidable to buy at this level, but wait for any decline or significant dip in price, and then one can look at accumulating at lower levels.
That's a take coming in on United Spirits. You have the next query coming in from Neelam, who's writing to us from Jaipur. Wants to know if you have any view on fresh buys for certain counters, Hemen, Dabur, CAMS, as well as Angel One for a period of about 4 to 6 months. Do you think these are good bets that one can look at right now, given the fact that we have seen sizable correction in these counters?
I'll start with CAMS. I think that's one stock you mentioned, Cheryl. I think if we can extend his time horizon, I think it's a very clear buy. I don't think there's anything to worry about. Yes, for this time frame that he's talking about, Dabur is a buy over sold rounding bottom, a bounce is underway. So in not even 6 months, you can probably buy it for 3 months, Cheryl. Yes, worth a buy.
Coming in on CAMS, but with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. As we come right back, we will take more of your stock related queries, so stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. Let's continue taking your queries with our experts, Hemen, Kapadia on the technicals, while we have Lancelot Dcunha, who's taking all of your queries on the fundamental basis. So let me take this next query that I have. It's coming in from Sanjeev. And Sanjeev wants to know about Indian Hotels, Hemen. It is above 800 rupees per share. Is the vibrancy in the tourism and the hospitality space likely to hold going ahead, and what's your take coming in for this particular counter in days to come? I'm not sure if he's already purchased this stock or he wants to purchase it.
Okay, Shell, firstly, it's in a longer term uptrend. Oversold on the shorter term, a bounce is underway. On the medium term, stock looks a bit heavy because we've had a phenomenal move. So this bounce is underway. If the bounce crosses the recent high a few weeks ago and continues, then the uptrend is intact. If it doesn't, I have just a little bit of suspicion. If it bounces and doesn't make a new high now, we might slip into a corrective phase. So I'd say, depending on the time frame, long term, everything is hunky dory. Short to medium term, things look a bit dicey. Near term, we can expect resistance at around 830 and 850.
All right, that's the take coming in for Indian Hotels. But moving on to the next query then, and this query is coming in on Bharat Dynamics. And Lancelot, if you can help Thomas George on this one. He's bought 500 shares. His buy price is 1,555 rupees. What to do with this particular counter? He's at quite a loss in this particular stock. So would you advise to go ahead and average this counter maybe, or move out completely?
Yeah, I think he has bought the stock at a little high valuation because at that time there was, a big surge in all the PSU and defense companies. And hence the valuations really had gone, extremely high. And since then we've seen a kind of correction. But if one has to look at the business perspective, this company has got, good orders. It is growing its order book at about 40% every year. And over the next 3 to 5 years, a significant amount of orders will continue to come into the company from the army, as well as, some orders will come in from overseas as well. So from a business perspective, business is expected to grow, at least revenues would grow at 25 to 30%, and consequently profits would also grow at 25 to 30%. And any dip in the stock, maybe if it goes down below 1,000 or even at this level, one can add a little bit and keep adding on the way down, because on the, over the next 3 to 5 years, the share price and valuations will move in line with the revenue and profit growth.
All right, let me take this next query then, and this next query that I have is coming in from Bharat, and he's writing to us from Mumbai. Apollo Hospitals, 490 shares. The buy price is about 7,250 rupees per share. His time horizon is about 1 to 2 months. Hemen, short-term trade, hold or exit?
Hold with a stop loss of 6,600. A bounce is underway, deeply oversold, but this is probably a 1 week, 10-day point of view. The medium term picture is getting bad, Cheryl. So this is just a very short term thing, and keeping the stop loss in mind. The day it closes below 6,600, there's going to be a problem.
All right, that's the take coming in on Apollo Hospitals. But the next query that I have is coming in from Amit, writing to us all the way from UAE. And he has bought KEC at a price of 700 rupees. He's holding 500 shares of this counter. It has fallen a lot, but at this point, would you advise for a hold or a sell? Okay, he has bought at a level of 700. I believe he's at good profits in this one. So he wants a 2-year view on this particular stock. Your advice?
I would suggest a hold, Shishti, because the longer term charts indicate positivity. They remain safely ensconced in a longer term uptrend. Yes, medium term, along with the rest of the market, it slipped into intermediate correction. Simply put, hold from a longer term point of view.
All right. This next query that I have is coming from Jay Krishnan from Kerala. He has Polycab in his portfolio. Lancelot at the price point of about 7,233 rupees per share. For the medium term, he's holding on to it. What should he do? Should he look to add some more of Polycab in his portfolio? Do you think it would be advisable?
The Polycab, recently commissioned about five plants and expanded its capacity. It has seen good growth in terms of demand. Yes, in the short term, margins did get affected because of the increase in prices of copper and raw materials, and all of that could not be passed on to the customers. So margins impact and the profitability impact will definitely have a impact on the share price. At the moment, it still looks expensive, but at the same time, if you look at it from a 3 to 5 year perspective, Polycab can, probably even double its sales over the next 5 years, and revenue and profits should also grow at, compounded at 20% from here. So given that background, one should look to accumulate the stock and maybe pick it up on declines.
That's the take coming for Polycab. But the next query that I have is coming in on Shri Ram Finance. And Hemen, if you can help Karthik with your advice on Shri Ram Finance. He didn't share any buy price rather, but just want an overall view when it comes to Shri Ram Finance.
If its holding horizon is for probably 2 years or more, Cheryl, Shishri, I think a hold is very clearly there. We walked into a correction, but the charts look quite positive from a longer term point of view. So assuming it's a longer term this thing, resistance at 570, 660, 700, support at 500, 450.
All right, so that's the take about Shri Ram Finance. This one is coming in from Ramamurthy, writing to us from Bahrain. Good time to buy about 200 shares of Reliance right now, Hemen?
I think, yes. I think if you're buying Reliance, at least buy half, because markets still seem a bit wobbly and things could take time to settle down. But yeah, one can at least start nibbling and buy half at current levels. Deeply oversold. Intermediate recovery is on the anvil, which might have already commenced.
That's the take coming in on Big Boy Reliance. But the next query that I have, Lancelot, is coming in on CG Power, wherein Shri Vidya from Chennai wants your advice because she has bought 740. She has bought actually 200 shares. Buy price is 740 rupees. Indeed, at a loss in this one. But Lancelot, what's your take coming in on this? Would you advise to hold on to this particular counter, or maybe be a little cautious and try to look for an exit?
Well, I think, this CG Power is in a very competitive space. And while the outlook for power and power transmission equipment looks very attractive, there are a lot of players and it is becoming more competitive. So given that she has purchased it at a very high valuation, I think it's better to look for an alternative and, try to cut your losses, because otherwise you may be in for a very, very long period before you can actually realize, significant gains from this investment.
This one is coming from Chandrasekharan from Chennai. He wants to know about Birlasoft. 100 shares at an average price of 705 rupees per share. He can hold on for the next 6 months. What should be the target for this one, or the exit price for this one?
I believe, firstly, we remain in a intermediate downtrend, Cheryl, and that doesn't seem to be in a mood to go away. Relative weakness, many of the IT stocks posted fresh highs in the recent couple of months. Birlasoft hasn't done that. Support at 500. So I would say, unless he's got a very longer term time frame, one can sell on bounce. Otherwise, but it would be this similar. 2 years holding, you can hold. Otherwise, the sell on bounce, it's deeply oversold. So selling currently also, frankly speaking, doesn't make too much of sense. So I'd wait for a small bounce before selling.
So take coming in on Birlasoft. But the next query that I have, Hemen, is coming in from Shankar from Delhi and wants a view on Lupin. He wants a short-term view on this one. Would you advise to stay invested in this stock maybe for the next 6 months to 1 year, and any target price as well to look forward to?
I would say book some profit, Shishti. Stock is overbought, getting heavier, distribution is happening. We are on the cusp of slipping into a correction. We probably will. So I would say book some profit and buy it again at lower levels.
All right, so that's the take coming in for Lupin. This one is coming for you, Lancelot. This one is coming from Sonu from Bangalore. I want to know, for a period of about 2 years or so, does it make sense for him to go ahead and invest in Karnataka Bank, or for the matter of fact, Canara Bank?
these are basically small banks, and whenever there's a rise in interest rate or there's pressure on personal balance sheets, these banks do get impacted. Their credit cost begins to rise, and it becomes difficult to justify valuations. If you look at even Canara Bank, the price had really gone up significantly over the last 1 year as there was this move towards public sector banks. But I think now, given the market, corrections as far as the interest rates outlook is concerned, and what we're seeing in terms of, microfinance stress on many of these bank balance sheets, it's better to stay with quality and the large banks, because in a economic downturn, the large banks are always better placed to take advantage of the difficult situation. And so I would recommend that you stick to maybe banks like HDFC, Axis, ICICI, and maybe even Kotak in terms of valuation has come off. That would be better options rather than trying to buy into Karnataka Bank and maybe, this Canara Bank.
That's the day coming in on some of these banking majors. But with this, it's once again time to slip into a very short break. Viewers, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back just after this quick break. Welcome back to Buy Now Sell Now show, where we get you answers for all your stock related queries. And continuing the same, the next query that I have is coming in on PVR Inox. And Lancelot, if you can help Padmaseva Rao to know that is this stock a good buy at current levels?
Looking at it from a long-term perspective, as the OTT platforms keep eating into the market share for these PVR Inox and this exhibition companies, it's going to become more and more difficult for them to compete, and especially it will be difficult for them to generate high revenues or high profits from the ticket sales that they have. So while there is going to be some kind of growth, because OTT still is not yet that prevalent all over, but as it keeps increasing, you'll find the valuations of this company will start to get re-rated. So hence one should look at it, take an opportunity to sort of exit the counter from whenever possible, because long term is definitely going to be a big challenge for these companies to maintain profitability.
So that's the take coming in on PVR Inox. But let's take a quick detour from taking your queries. Prime Minister Modi has commissioned 3 naval combatants, INS Surat, INS Nilgiri and INS Vakshir, during a ceremony at the Naval Dockyard in Mumbai today. Let's go across and listen in to what the Prime Minister has to say.
इसमें हमारा एक समृद्ध इतिहास रहा है. अपने इतिहास से प्रेरणा लेते हुए आज का भारत दुनिया की एक मेजर मैरीटाइम पावर बन रहा है. आज जो प्लेटफॉर्म लॉन्च हुए हैं, उनमें भी इसकी झलक है. अब जैसे हमारा नीलगिरी चौल वंश के समुद्री सामर्थ्य के प्रति समर्पित है. सूरत वॉरशिप उस कालखंड की याद दिलाता है जब गुजरात के पोर्ट्स के जरिए भारत वेस्ट एशिया से जुड़ा था. इन दिनों ये दोनों शिप्स, इसके साथ आज बागशीर सबमरीन की कमीशनिंग भी हो रही है. कुछ वर्ष पूर्व मुझे P-75 क्लास की पहली सबमरीन कलवरी की कमीशनिंग में शामिल होने का अवसर मिला था. आज मुझे इस क्लास की 6वीं सबमरीन बागशीर को कमीशन करने का सौभाग्य मिला है. ये नए फ्रंटियर प्लेटफॉर्म भारत की सुरक्षा और प्रगति दोनों को नया सामर्थ्य देंगे. साथियों, आज भारत पूरे विश्व और खासकर ग्लोबल साउथ में एक भरोसेमंद और जिम्मेदार साथी के रूप में पहचाना जा रहा है। भारत विस्तारवाद नहीं, भारत विकासवाद की भावना से काम करता है। भारत ने हमेशा ओपन, सिक्योर, इंक्लूसिव और प्रॉस्परस इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन का समर्थन किया है। इसलिए जब समुद्र से सटे देशों के विकास की बात आई तो भारत ने मंत्र दिया सागर। सागर का मतलब है सिक्योरिटी एंड ग्रोथ फॉर ऑल इन द रीजन। हम सागर के विजन के साथ आगे बढ़े। जब भारत के सामने G20 की प्रेसिडेंसी संभालने का दायित्व आया तो दुनिया को हमने मंत्र दिया वन अर्थ वन।
That is the Prime Minister addressing at the launch of those naval vessels. But let's move on then and let's continue taking your queries. This next one is coming from Balaji. He's writing to us from Chennai and he wants to know about Coal India and Indian Oil, that is IOC, if he can buy right now Hemen for a period of about 6 months to 1 year. Both of these counters are dependent on a lot of global factors as well.
Yes, Sharon. And have a slightly similar view. Don't buy completely, split it. But yeah, you can probably buy 1/3 at current levels. There is decent support for Coal India at 350. The next support comes in at 310 and 290. But yeah, we've had a move. We're corrective. So these are the levels. And yeah, one can start buying Coal India in bits and pieces. Absolutely same view for IOC. The longer term charts still indicate bullishness. We've walked into a correction of a greater degree. 122 is rock solid support. One can start nibbling over here and buying bits and pieces. Yes.
All right then, with this we are timed out in this edition of Buy Now Sell Now to take the queries for today. Thank you so much Lancelot as well as Hemen for joining us today and taking the time out and helping all our viewers resolve their stock related queries. But with this viewers, it's time to slip into a very short break, but don't go anywhere. As we come right back, it's Women's Wednesday and definitely an interesting conversation lined up on the other side of the break, so stay tuned.
You work too hard. If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.